Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to ATI Pro Media. Tommy Grisafi here. We are powered by Advanced Trading. It's good to be back home. Had a great time in New York. Spent some time on the New York Stock Exchange yesterday. Went to the 9/11 memorial. Pretty emotional over there. Never seen it. All right. With that, let's go to South Street. We're going to talk about numbers today, Connor B and I, and then we're going to get out. We're going to be live again at 10:45. We hope you join us. D's corn up 1 3/4. Let's call it up 2. No soybeans up 6, 10.20. Quoting up that D's corn 420. So 420, 10.20. Meal up a little. Soybean oil up 31. Border trade wheat. KC hard red spring board up 3. KC up 1. Hard red spring unched. Cattle down a little bit. Down 25. Cattle. I got to update those quotes. Move to next month. But feeder cattle down a smidge. Hogs up a little. Let's talk stock market. This is wild to go to Wall Street because I was just standing there 24 hours ago, right at that spot. Pretty cool. Dow Jones up 140, S&P up 8, NASDAQ down 80. Interest rates, 2s, 10s, 5s, 30s. Interest rates about unchanged, going down just a smidge. Gold, this is a ring the bell. Gold up 26, working its way back towards record high. Silver up 35. Get you a quote on that silver, 31.50. Dr. Copper up 4. Crude oil down $1. Extremely volatile times here in crude oil. Natural gas down 25, 26.50. Bitcoin up 2,000. Not sure what's going on over there, but it's going on. Let's bring him in. Connor B, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. Happy Friday. Happy report day. The October WASD is here. Other thing to keep in mind, Tommy, Monday, we've got a bank holiday, right? Markets are open, but banks are closed, meaning no margins being pulled. That's Columbus Day, October 14th. Kind of snuck up on me, not one that I pay attention to, but I think it's optional if schools are out, but banks are closed either way.
Yeah, that's a fact, but the markets are open. I remember when I was younger down at the Board of Trade, the grains would be open on this holiday so harvest could continue and people could use the products, but the bond room would be closed, and traders would come in from all over the Midwest to trade at the board, and they would forget that the bond market was closed. And all of a sudden, you'd go to the bean or corn pit, and you'd see some of the largest traders in the world flinging around corn and beans, and it was always a fun day. When you see Tom Baldwin or I can name off a bunch of names, but when you see the big boys in the corner bean pit just messing around because they're like, well, I drove down here. I have a full seat. I might as well trade a little corn. It was always a great day to see those guys come in. They were at a whole nother level. What they're doing now, I don't know. Maybe they're live streaming, talking about markets. But
we're getting some comments. We're getting some comments that were a little glitchy, Tommy. Keep going. I'm going to see.
Yeah.
If it gets fixed. Okay, I think we're better. We're good. So if it was glitching right there, Tommy Grisafi said the most profound thing I've ever heard.
Oh boy.
You didn't catch it, but we'll make sure to include it on premium.
And you just missed the boat this round. We gave 5 $500 gift certificates away, but you had to be there and you had to have the secret code. If you had that secret code, send it to us, but you probably weren't because we were glitchy. All right. Yeah. We're here. We see you. Do you see us? Ring the bell. Let's go. USDA report. I went to bed at 2 a.m. and I was not partying, but let's talk about the Northern Lights. I was in Manhattan. I flew out of New Jersey, but to look back at Manhattan and see the sky red was pretty cool. And that happened. Clients in Texas. I mean, all of America got to celebrate the good grace and powers of Mother Nature.
Can I be honest with you, Tommy?
Yeah.
Kids were in bed. My wife texted me and said, "Hey, you can see the Northern Lights outside." I was on the couch. Thursday Night Football was on. I said, "Tell me how it looks."
The best way to see them is
make it outside.
Just look at X, aka Twitter, the post of the farmers harvesting. Now they complain that their GPS doesn't work, and we're going to need someone a lot smarter to explain to us what happens with those solar flares. But it does mess up things. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, here, let's go ahead. Oh, I was going to go WASD today. We're going to get it brief, but I was going to flash up the numbers, right? And so feel free to look at that. We're going to do a deep dive. We go live right, I think around 10:40, 10:45. And then we have the other group's going to come in and assess it a little bit after. Nate DeRocco, Brian Bastian, Michael Reginelli. But, I think all eyes are going to be on, are we going to see this record crop get bigger, right? Did we have the weather to have a record bean yield? I'm really going to be looking for, what are they going to say for that Russian-Ukraine wheat? Where are they going to update South America, right? That's kind of what I'm going to be most interested in. But time will tell. Here's a question, Tommy. I know you get it a lot. I've been getting it this week is, okay, I sold my grain. I'm thinking about buying calls. Should I buy them, Connor? Should I buy them before the report or after the report? And I say the same thing every time. If I knew what the USDA was going to say, I don't think I'd be on ATI Pro Media right now. I think I'd be somewhere warm, somewhere on the beach. So we'll see what those numbers bring.
Yeah, there's all types of ways of getting after this, but it tends to work out. The discipline of if you sell grain, just call us or do it yourself. You don't need us to do it, but buy those back. And if you want a bit cheaper, go ahead and do that. But the saddest thing is to sell grain. I had a client do it to me a month ago. He said, I'm selling beans. I'm looking for a bargain on bean calls. And I'm like, well, beans just broke. You know, we're $9.50. But yeah, but if those calls get 2 cents cheaper. So he tried to save 2 cents and he lost himself 62. I mean, it's a total trying to pick up, tripping over dollars to pick up pennies on the railroad tracks.
It's a matter of managing risk, right? That's our job as risk managers. If you have all the grain sold, you've got a lot of risk. If this market decides to correct to work higher, mitigate that risk. So simple as that for me.
But, yeah, we got a couple things Tony Dunker's talking about that's real important. Do you have something else you'd like to add to the show?
I had some flash sales we need to pop up.
Let's get that.
Let's go. Yeah, a big one on corn and 132,000 metric tons of soybeans, unknown destination, 577 metric tons of corn for delivery to unknown, right? Let's hope that's China. It's probably, I mean, if I was a betting man, Tommy, I'd say it's probably Mexico, but who knows? It really sparked my interest because that half a million metric tons, I went ahead and looked up the top 10 biggest flash sales. We've got some work to do if we want to crack this list. So the biggest one we saw was to Russia for 3.7 million in recent history. We got to go back to 2020, 2021, but we're well into the 2 million flash sales if we're getting a record. I got a little in front of my skis thinking that was a big one.
No, it's okay. It's steady as she goes. I love to see the sales. We are definitely going up or stopped going down because of demand. And then maybe some farmers or analysts have an inclination that the bean crop may not just be as big as we think. It was that big. It had that potential to be that big, but a lot of low moisture beans being brought to town. What do you know about that, Connor B?
Yeah, Tony Dunker, actually, her and I had a conversation about that. And it was just, if you're hauling in 10% beans versus 13% beans, how much money are you leaving on the table? And so it's not an exact science, right? It's kind of like when you talk phantom yield loss. If you had 10 guys in a room, you're going to get 10 opinions on that. But it really adds up. I think, Tony, correct me if I'm wrong if you're watching, but I think if we use a $10, let's use 75, 80 bushel beans, 10% versus 13%, I think it came out to something like just under $30 an acre that you're leaving on the table, right? You're losing that water, right? If we go below 13 is usually where you get docked at. So just interesting to think about. I always like doing that math, looking at shrink factors, right? What's the optimal time to harvest corn? I love having the conversations. Again, it's not an exact science. That's why we're talking about it, right? There's plenty of room for debate when we're talking about bringing in moisture.
Mm-hmm. On a positive note, a couple of clients from North Dakota, the whole state of North Dakota didn't know if they'd have a crop. It started to go in very early, and then it went in extremely late. And in the end, there are farmers all over North Dakota bringing in corn off the field at 15.5, 15, 14.5, right to the elevator. Guess what their drying costs were?
Basically
zero. They honk right as they go by their farm, and they're bringing it to town because they don't want to haul it twice, get it in. A lot of times you bring it home to get it down from 20% and turn the fans on for a few months. That's not the case. And these are folks who had a little chunk sold already, so they don't mind. But even the overrun, they're like, yeah, I just sold 15,000 bushels at probably what's a bad price. But the fact they didn't have to pay for drying and everything else, moving the product, not getting all the other little fees that show up.
Right. It's a hot that's where you start talking phantom yield losses where, I think I've said it a lot where I think guys were much more likely to let it dry down in the field this year because they don't want to pay the drying costs. And why would you when they are what they are at sub $4 corn. But then you start getting into, what's the optimal yield? If you pick a field at 27% and you get back in it at 15%, right? How much yield was left on the table?
Connor, here's what I want you to do. Take your left hand, put it here. Put your left hand there. Take your right hand and hit it.
What?
Hit it, because you're blowing up the chat. Look at this. There's like 20 comments.
What did I tell
you? It by the pound, or do you sell it by the bushel?
What did I tell you?
Just became 28 minutes.
If you say, Rick, if the title is Phantom Yield Loss, the comments will blow up because we will have 20 different opinions, right?
All right,
as a broker, you got to be neutral. Whatever your opinion is the right one.
Phones are ringing. Let's get to the comments. Let's go. Wrap them up. Jojo, someone start posting comments. We'll go at it. Thanks everyone for watching.
Yep. Here we go. Wrapped up our corn last Saturday, 59 bushel average. Last year was 140, 150. Clarity, Luke's in North Carolina. If anyone doesn't pay attention, man, what a yield hit, Luke. Zeros from the drown. The zeros from the drown and drought added up quickly. Cotton is done growing. Lots of defoliant will be sprayed next week. So, wow. Yeah. If you remember, North Carolina was very, very dry. And then they got a ton of precipitation, and then they got a hurricane on top of that. So a rough growing season for those North Carolina producers.
Luke, thanks for being a premium subscriber. One of the first people to ever join the live stream. Then he joined premium, stopped by Valparaiso. We went to lunch. I think he wanted a Ag Bull or ATI Pro Media sweatshirt, and he's probably wearing one right now.
Oh, here we go. Tax question. Is there any unusual tax implications on gains if I bought calls? Like winning on DraftKings over $600 gets taxed instantly before you get paid. So I have heard.
That'll be a great premium. Next question.
I got a good. I can talk a whole premium on that on tax.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Good question though.
What is happening with milk? Broke hard and started building back. Schizophrenia in action. Take this one, Tommy.
I've been watching milk ever since we had all those issues, and it's been trending up. Milk is the one of the hot spots in agriculture that the milk folks are doing well. I think it was approaching record highs. So a little out of the loop for milk the last few days, but that's a great question. We need to milk's important. A lot of our clients cut silage for the dairies and stuff, but I lost touch with milk prices last few days. We will look in that. We work with a bunch of smart people. We're better at live streaming. They're better at being smart. Some of them have a face for radio, but we work with some smart people. We'll get back to
you. Here we go. Very low moisture here in Iowa. 450 bushel on each wagon at 12% soybeans. You got me excited there, Rush. I was thinking 450. I'm thinking that's what you're averaging. But then I had to reread it. 12% on soybeans. Now moisture is at 9%. Yeah, amazing. It dries fast. If you want, Russ, we can walk through the math on the difference between 9 versus 12%, but it looks like you know it. 12.6 out of the field on corn. Right, that is drying down fast. I really think, here in Central Illinois, it's been heavy bean harvest. I really think we're going to be about wrapped up on soybeans here into next week, Tommy. And I think we're going to get back in the cornfield. I don't know if we need to run the dryer, right? Time will tell.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, Connor, I was tied up at the airport. I didn't get yesterday's premium out. We'll have a double batch premium. Talk to us about your interview with Dr. Cesar Cruz and your friends from South America.
Yeah, it was a conversation. Dr. Cruz, he's from Brazil, South America, studied at U of I. Now we have him as our head of research, but he has a lot of contacts down in Brazil. So he has a guy named Giovanni Parzianello. I know I pronounced first name right. I might have mispronounced this last name, but anyway, he big producer in Brazil. So we just wanted to hear his thoughts. How worried is he on the soybean planting? What are they going to expect? And then implications. He talked a lot about going forward, right? If the soybean crop's a little bit late, how are we going to pivot on that second corn crop? Versus he talked a lot about, it sounds like his operations planting a little more cotton than they have in previous years. But it's a good one, right? I will tell you, in his mind, the next 5 days in terms of precipitation in Brazil in his area is huge, right? It's everything for the next 5 days. If they get their rains, they are going to go like hell. So it's a great watch, right? He gives some great insight on the different challenges they face, what they're looking at, and so it's great. I always love hearing from.
How long did you guys talk? Half hour?
We kept it under a half hour, Tommy.
Good. No, 20, I mean, it's good. Those are.
I thought you were going to yell at me. I know you said
no, never yell at you. The last time we made that episode public, we're not going to do that now. You have to be a premium subscriber. Yep. I don't care if you work at Advanced Trading, subscribe. But that by far was the most popular video we've ever released, and they are huge farmers. So for $1 a day, $30, I think it's worth it. Good job, Connor.
Thank you. But yeah, well, right. Let's wrap it up unless we got any other questions, Joe.
Yeah, I want to tell people about ATI Pro Media real quick, and then we're gonna hop. See you, buddy. Welcome to ATI Pro Media, powered by Advanced Trading. We're a financial channel that loves agriculture. For just $1 a day, you'll receive advanced trading research, actionable text, and a minimum of 6 videos a week featuring industry experts and insight. Click the button below to subscribe today. All right, Tommy Grisafi, Valparaiso, Indiana. Connor B, Assumption, Illinois. B. Huck will be back here this afternoon. Tell a friend. The 1045 show is live. USDA will have quotes, charts, a little laughs, a little tears. We'll see you soon.
See you.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.